What's up, Peace Giant fans? Uh, it's been a while. I know I was supposed to make a video about 2 weeks ago, but I was watching Hard Knocks and some Giant practices, and so I just wanted to get everything together and make a video all in one shot. So, first thing I want to talk about is the Speak Crew, who I always have something to talk about with. There was a recent episode where Emmanuel Acho was talking about the Giants and talking about the Giants having given Daniel Jones enough weapons, the Giants having given Daniel Jones an adequate offensive line, and the rest of the commentators on the show proceeded to bash Daniel Jones. I mean, LaShawn McCoy always bashes him. Joy Taylor, no disrespect, but she's a black woman. I enough respect for her, but she always talks out of her mouth. James Jones, who also played for the Giants 1 year, no loyalty, but he'll stay sucking Aaron Rodgers till the day he die. The only man I know that's played with Eli and Aaron Rodgers, and I mean, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is a hell of a quarterback, but he was like, yo, there's no comparison to the ball that Aaron throws to the ball that Eli throws. I don't know. I that caught me off guard when he said that. But I want to get into what they were talking about with the Giants. Shady, he's a hater. And a lot of that stems from the Giants and him being a Philadelphia Eagle, so I understand where it comes from. But Emmanuel Acho was trying to be a moderator this time, and he was really trying to bring out points where he wanted to state, Daniel Jones hasn't had the weapons. Daniel Jones hasn't had the offensive line. Daniel Jones hasn't had the players around him, and LaShawn McCoy being the Eagle, also being a running back, he basically let in that what the Giants did to Saquon was wrong, and this, that, and the third, and the Giants should have paid Saquon instead of Daniel Jones, this, that, and the third. We all know, right or wrong, the NFL is a quarterback-driven league. Daniel Jones bounced back, had a good 2022, and the Giants rewarded him for it. Saquon had an injury like a year and a half before, and he was working his way back from injury. The Giants offered him. When it comes down to dollars and cents, the Giants offered Saquon what he wound up taking in Philadelphia. It was $1 million short. So, the Giants didn't underpay him. The Giants offered him what was fair. Saquon thought he wanted more. He waited at the time, and it turned out that the Giants weren't going to offer him that amount, and Philadelphia wound up offering him the same amount, plus $1 million. And he took it. Saquon is now on the Eagles, and it's time to move on. I'm sick of people talking about Saquon. Saquon's gone. It's time to move on, bro. But I want to get back to Shady, hating on Daniel Jones. And I understand you was a Philadelphia Eagle, bro. But if you base everything off of 2022, Daniel Jones threw for 3,200 yards. He ran for 700. All right. He passed for about 15 touchdowns, and he had like 6 interceptions. Jalen Hurts threw for 500 yards more and 7 more touchdowns with a way better team. Way better offensive line, way better weapons, but nobody talks about that. You know, everybody wants to talk about, oh, Daniel Jones is trash and Daniel Jones is this. Really? Daniel Jones had 500 less yards and 7 less touchdowns, and he's trash. Okay, I digress. I'll move on from Shady. Joy Taylor. No disrespect to you, Queen, but you sitting here talking about the Giants living in the past. The Giants haven't done nothing in 11 years. What have the Pittsburgh Steelers done? What have the Pittsburgh Steelers done, Joy Taylor? If I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, the Giants have won a Super Bowl more recently than the Steelers. But the Giants are living in the past. This is the same person that's on national television, and she talks about how the Washington Commanders are in a better position than the New York Giants. What in the world are you watching? Do you hate the Giants that much that you just talk out of your face? Where are the Washington Commanders better than the Giants? In what category? You're gonna go. You always say you don't go with a rookie quarterback, but you're gonna go with a rookie quarterback over Daniel Jones? Okay. Brian Robinson against Devin Singletary. Okay, if you want to go Brian Robinson, I could give you that. Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson over Malik Neighbors and Jalen Hyatt. If you go off pass, because Malik Neighbors is a rookie. But I don't know. This year might be different. I think that might be a toss-up. The Commanders have no edge rushers. Their linebacker play is average. Their secondary is average. So she's like, oh my God. I think the Commanders are better than the Giants. Really? Really? This is a person that's on national television. This is also a person that sits there and says, you know, she likes the Miami Dolphins. What the hell have the Dolphins won? What have the Dolphins won? You're talking about the Dolphins? Seriously? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. You hate on the Giants, and you know it doesn't even make sense. It's not understandable. You know what I mean? James Jones, I'm not even going to comment on him. Because if it ain't Aaron Rodgers, it ain't right. But props to Emmanuel Acho, because he finally decided to look at the Giants objectively Daniel Jones had no offensive line. He had no weapons. And if I remember correctly, when they beat the Vikings in the playoffs 2 years ago, and Joy Taylor's like, oh, that's in the past. That's in the past. That's 2 years ago. But you want to laud Jalen Hurts for going to the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago. But what the Giants did, that was 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago. Stop sucking LaShawn McCoy, man. And think for yourself. You know what I mean? It's just silly what these people are saying. Now you have Colin Cowherd talking about, Daniel Jones. Maybe he's not that bad. This, that, and the third. Retracting statements. Nah, don't retract your statements. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stand on what you said. You have Mike Greenberg, who's been on TV for a long time. Ever since the days of Mike and Mike. And, he's talking about the Giants are going to get rid of Daniel Jones. They're going to fire Brian Daboll. They're going to bring in Bill Belichick and Dak Prescott. When I saw that shit, I turned the TV off. I couldn't even watch that nonsense. I was like, what are you talking about? You're a Jet fan. Stay in Jetdom. You know what I'm saying? That's another team that hasn't done nothing in years. Are you serious? The Giants are going to bring in Dak Prescott and Bill Belichick. What are you smoking? What makes you even say that? And that's not the first time Mike Greenberg has said that. Then you have Sports Illustrated, who has put out an article, I believe 2 days ago, talking about maybe the deal that the Giants gave Daniel Jones turned out to be a bargain. Now, let's put that in context. Daniel Jones is like the 14th, 15th highest paid quarterback in the league. He's making $40 million this season. You got Trevor Lawrence, who's making $55 million. Tua, who's making over $50 million. Dak is going to be making over 60 when he signs his deal, wherever he signs it at. So Daniel Jones is going to drop further down the list. I just like the way people now are sitting there and they're like, oh, Daniel Jones has got a receiver now. Daniel Jones has got people to block for him now. Maybe he's not gonna be that bad. And let me tell you something, man. I'm not saying Daniel Jones is a transcendent talent. I'm not saying he's Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is Daniel Jones can be a serviceable quarterback, which is a lot more than what other teams have. He can be a very serviceable quarterback if he stays healthy. And everybody wants to say, oh, Daniel Jones just ain't that good. Who does he have to throw the ball to, man? I mean, we beat the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs and he was throwing to Richie James and Isaiah Hodgins. Are you serious? He made it work with Richie James and Isaiah Hodgins. Come on, man. is you gotta give them some kind of props and some kind of credit, man. Y'all can't just keep walking around and bashing them and bashing them and bashing them. And let me tell you something. Barring injury, Daniel Jones is gonna have a good season, man. Mark my words. Mark my words. I said off rip. Ceiling for the Giants is 10 wins. Low end is 7. I feel they're going to be around 9 or 10 because I think their defense is going to keep them in a lot of games, and I think they're going to find ways to pull out close games. I think adding Malik Neighbors and letting Saquon Barkley go was the right move because you was able to address your offensive line. You was able to trade for Brian Burns. I mean, come on. If you really want to look at the Giants draft for the first 2 rounds, okay, you basically could say it's Malik Neighbors, Tyler Nubin, and Brian Burns. Really? That's a damn good draft, bro. That's a damn good draft. You know what I mean? And y'all can hate all y'all want. You know what I mean? But ask the Detroit Lions how that giant front is. Because that giant front was beasting on them. So ask them how that giant front is. With Dex getting pushed up the middle, Kayvon and Burns on the outside. Are you serious? Come on, man. Come on. I'm expecting a big year from Bobby Okereke. I'm expecting a big year from Isaiah Simmons, who's been getting run in the secondary as like a little hybrid type deal. I'm not too sold on Cordell Flott. I think Cordell Flott is better suited in the slot, or as a nickel. If you want to play Drew Phillips, I think they need to give Trey Hawkins another go, because the secondary is better, the D-line is better, and Trey Hawkins' aggressiveness, they'll actually be better suited, I think, with his aggressiveness and his size. Cordell Flott is a little undersized to be playing on the outside. That's just real. And I mean, look at what we did with the offensive line, man. We brought in John Runyon. We brought in Jermaine Illuminor. Aaron Stinney. I think we brought in another dude too. We brought in Greg Van Roten, and we added another guy. So we're getting there with the offensive line, man. But you know, you can't give up on Daniel Jones so soon. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you got other quarterbacks that haven't accomplished or have accomplished the same level to what he has, and you're judging him based off of money. And he's not the highest paid quarterback. You know what I mean? And that's really what it boils down to. People are hating on the fact that Daniel Jones is making $40 million. They're hating. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, they started a narrative where Malik Neighbors wasn't happy with the Giants because he wasn't happy going to New York because he didn't want to play with Daniel Jones. I remember watching a press clip, and Brian Daboll called the play. Daniel Jones was going to check out of it, and he was going to throw a screen like a little bubble. And Malik Neighbors said, yo, just throw it deep, and I'll go get it. Daniel Jones threw that sucker deep, man, and Malik Neighbors went and got it. And I think right then and there, Malik Neighbors was like, yo, maybe this dude ain't as bad as people say he is. You know what I'm saying? He hit a play against the Detroit Lions their first day of inter-squad scrimmages. Daniel Jones threw a perfect touch pass along the sidelines to like the 10-yard line. 30-yard bomb. Malik Neighbors caught it. You know, they're developing a chemistry. They're developing a symmetry. And you also got to add in Jalen Hyatt. Daniel Jones has hit him for a couple of deep bombs. Now, Daniel Jones has been off the mark on a couple of throws underneath, especially to Wan'Dale Robinson, throwing the ball behind him and stuff like that. But, you know, he's been out of the game for a while. Give him some time, shake the rust off. You know what I mean? Giants is going to be all right, bro. And, you know, and it's funny to see people being consistent with their hate or starting to double down now and saying, well, maybe they're not that bad. Or maybe Daniel Jones isn't that bad. This is a pivotal year for Daniel Jones. Because he's basically playing for his future as a New York Giant. Because if he doesn't play well, the Giants are going to trade him and draft a quarterback. If he plays well, I think they'll keep him and they'll continue to build around him. But, you know, my thing is, if you keep Daniel Jones, continue to build around him. Continue to build that team up, man. This coming draft is going to be a good draft. You're going to have your pick between a good defensive tackle, a good offensive tackle. You're going to have your pick, or a good corner. You're going to have your pick between one of the three if you're the Giants. So continue to build around DJ, man. Continue to build your team up around DJ. I've been running mock draft simulations, and it's early, but I was getting aggressive making trades, and I had one where I took Campbell, the offensive tackle from LSU. I traded back in the first round, and I got the running back from OK State, 6'2", 230 pounds, runs a 4.4. You know what I mean? Beast. You know what I mean? Beast. You know what I mean? Come on, man. The Giants are going to be fine. And like I said, and I've always said it, they're 1 year away. Well, at the time I said it, they was 2 years away. 2025. 2025, the Giants are going to be something raw, bro. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean they're going to fall apart in that time. They're still going to be good. I think they're still going to be more than respectable. And I think people are just jumping the gun. You know? You know, when you look at the whole landscape of the NFC, who can the Giants not play with? I mean, now to be honest with you, you know, they've been smacked around by the Cowboys for a couple of years. But the Eagles had a meltdown against us. You know, we started the Eagles losing streak last season. We beat up on the Commanders the same way the Cowboys beat up on us. You expect the Packers to be good, but we played them tough when we played them last year, and we did not have nowhere near the players that we have now. I mean, yeah, you could say the same thing about them. They didn't have Xavier McKinney. He actually switched teams and went to the Packers, but we played them tough. You know what I mean? Um, I mean, the 49ers, we didn't fare well against. We was really outmatched with them. But, I mean, the Seahawks, we played pretty good against. You know, a couple of plays really turned the game. I mean, who else? You know, we played Chicago last year. Um, I'm not sold on Chicago. I think a lot of hype is on Caleb Williams, and I think a lot of people are going to be surprised because I think he's going to be a good player, but I don't think he's going to live up to the hype that people have put on him. You know, the Saints, their average team, the Bucks, you know what I mean? Like the Cardinals, like who can't the Giants beat, yo? It's not like, oh, they're playing them, they're going to get smoked. No, I don't see that. I don't see that. And I think the Giants are going to shock a lot of people, man. I think Devin Singletary is going to surprise a lot of people, bro. Because he could run, he runs hard, he runs behind his pads, and he's a good pass catcher out of the backfield, bro. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's what people aren't looking at. That's what people are ignoring. He's a good pass catcher out of the backfield. You know? And then you add Tyrone Tracy. You know what I mean? The Giants got some weapons, man. They got weapons on both sides of the ball. And they need a couple of more things. You know, I would love to see them add a defensive tackle or go with Dexter Lawrence, because that would set their D-line off. It would set it off. And they need another corner. But I think the D-line is solid. The linebacker play is solid. They need another corner. And an offensive line. What are you going to do with Evan Neal? Are you going to keep him? Are you going to trade him? That's the question. But if you're going to trade him, I feel you got to trade him before the deadline and try to get as much as you can for him. You know, a team thirsty for a tackle, you know what I mean? And get what you can for him. And maybe even package him and Darius Slayton. Because if you're going to run Malik Neighbors, Jalen Hyatt, Wan'Dale Robinson, you might as well change your personnel grouping, because you're going to have Theo Johnson. You might as well run another wide receiver. So is that going to be Isaiah Hodgins? Is that going to be Bryce Ford Wheaton? I don't know. You know, but I think you have enough, and you have enough speed at wide receiver where teams have to play you honestly. You know, and, you know, for everybody sitting there, you know, once again talking about Saquon, let me tell you something. I bet you Saquon wish he would have stayed a Giant. Being the team that we are now, I bet you he wish he stayed a Giant. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of expectations with that Philadelphia Eagle team, and they are not going to live up to it, bro. And I am going to be a happy camper when they don't. But I ain't hating, you know. That's them. They're in Pennsylvania. We in New York. We gonna do our thing, man. And, you know, to all the haters, kick rocks. You know, to all the people that are standing firm, you know, keep doing what you do. Keep rocking with the blue. And we gonna make it happen, man. We gonna make it happen. You know. And, you know, I like to say to all the haters, to hell with y'all. You know what I mean? Because we do what we do. And we're building a team the right way. You know what I mean? We're building it the right way. So it's going to come out in our favor in the end, man. because that's what happens. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to put that out there. It's been about 30 minutes. You know, I'm not going to take much more of your time up. You know, please like, subscribe, comment, do all of that good stuff. Tell your friends. And I'll just keep that content pushing. And you know, we gotta shut them haters down, man. We gotta shut them down, you know. And we gotta show some respect for our team, because if nobody else is gonna do it, we gotta do it. And then people out there ain't showing the Giants no love, bro. No love. So we gotta come out and do it, fam. And we gotta make it happen. So as long as we do that, and as long as we continue to do that, we'll be all right. So once again, like, subscribe, comment to the channel. You know, get our viewership up. You know, get our membership up. And you know, keep doing what we do. And you know, we'll see what's in our future. But it's looking bright, man. It's looking real bright, because I like what we're doing. I like what we're doing. We got a good foundation now. So now it's time to build on that. It's time to build on that. And as long as we do that, we'll be all right. So pick your heads up. You know, don't, oh, man, the Giants. Pick your heads up, man. Be proud, because they putting out a good product, man, and they're gonna put out a good product. So that's all that matters. So I'm gonna let everyone go. We got a good game tonight. We're playing the Detroit Lions, first game of the preseason, and you know, just see how everything works. You know, see these young players get some burn. Probably see Turbo Miller out there, Tyrone Tracy, and all the fellas, Tommy DeVito, you know, with the little chicken cutlet, you know what I mean? And go from there. So it's going to be an interesting game. So I'm going to watch it, and I'll comment on that later, and you know, see what happens. So peace, love, like, subscribe to the channel, comment, all that good stuff. And Giants all the way, baby. You know what I mean? Stand 10 toes down. All right. Peace and love, everybody. Respect.